Good morning, welcome to Casa TexPina. Another beautiful sunny day here in Pampanga. It is build day number 110. Today is the big floor pour. We're going to be pouring most of the floor for the first floor area throughout the living room, kitchen, breakfast nook, hallway, dirty kitchen. You kind of get the idea. There will be still a couple of small spots that need to have concrete poured in them later on for the flooring, but we'll be able to do those smaller ones by hand. The plan for today is once they get they're going to have a ready mix truck come up. They're going to dump the concrete on the other side of the wall here into a, I'll show you, right here into this area, and they will do bucket brigade from there. So other than that, while they're waiting for the for the ready mix truck to show up, we're still prepping the beams across the top of the front porch. The welders are still working on the roof line, putting on the strapping to provide additional support for the roofing materials, and a little bit of plaster coating throughout the house, wherever folks are at that are not having concrete poured. So that's about where we're at this morning and what's planned for today. Again, the big idea today is the big floor pour, so all of the first floor here is going to be the main focus. So as when the pumper truck, I keep thinking pumper truck because I'm used to the big one up on top. When the ready mix truck shows up, I'll start showing you what's going on. So let's get started. All right, so while we're waiting on the ready mix truck to show up with the concrete for the big floor pour, they are readying the two columns here in the front and the beams around the sides, so they're getting ready to pour those as well. That concrete, I believe, will be done with the materials that we have on hand, some of the rock that was already bagged, and rock that we have over on the other side of the street, and some sand and cement, so the regular components. So that should be getting ready to get started here shortly. Let's go ahead and take a walk inside throughout the house and show you where folks are at this morning, prepping for concrete to come in. So we've got string line up so they know how deep to make the concrete. They're still cleaning up the edges to make sure that we've got good cohesion, adherence between the old concrete and the new. And we've got steps or spacers underneath the rebar. Rebar's all tied in. So yeah, we're cruising right along. They are also, you can probably hear the mixer in the background. They are getting ready to mix more concrete. Yep, mixing concrete. And this is probably going to be for the beam over the front porch area. You see the white milky material. That is the termiticide, so they poured in more termite solution just to really enforce and make sure that we don't have any termites inside the house. Once the concrete does get here, I'm pretty sure this is going to get moved. It may take a little bit of an effort, but yeah, that's what they're working on doing. So that's where most folks are at this morning. As things get moving with the concrete operations, we will show you how those go. Okay, so a little update on the concrete situation. The foreman on site tells me the concrete for the ready mix truck won't show up until about 10 o'clock. So we've got an hour and a half. What the guys are getting ready to do is start pouring those beams and columns for the front porch area. So I'll catch that as they're going along as well. All right, so the bucket brigade begins. We're doing bucket brigade for the columns and beams above the front porch. So what they're doing is, I'm going to show you where they're getting the concrete from. They got the concrete out here in the garage area. Walking in through the kitchen and living room, back out to the front porch. Hand it off to the guys up on the scaffolding, and they are pouring all the concrete into place. They're starting with the columns, because those two columns are rather deep, so they're starting with those first, and then once those are in place, they'll it's level up to that point, they'll start doing the rest of the beams around it. All right, so the first column here in the corner has been filled, at least to the bottom of the beam. So after they got done rodding it and tamping the sides with the hammer, they went over to the end, and they're going to start working from the wall, coming back out, working their way back out. So again, we still got the bucket brigade. You can see the guys coming around through the window, bringing it up through the front door area, and handing the buckets up. So this is the regular process for housing construction here. Utilize the bucket brigade to quickly move cement from one side to the other, or concrete from one end to the other. The other gentleman you saw there in the doorway is spreading termiticide around. So every time they get ready to do a concrete pour and it's on the ground level, they pour termiticide down just to make sure that we're not going to have any termites. All right, so Mr. Wilson and Mr. Romy have been putting in these beams, the extra additional supports inside of the beams here. You see he's putting in the extra rebar here. What they're doing is they're running one from the column over here on the side. It comes up, over, drops. And then there's another support that comes underneath it. It starts underneath, they overlap, go down, and come back up. And then same thing from this side, starts inside the column, goes up, over, and overlaps the one that was underneath, and comes down. These are the additional supports they're putting in the beams to make sure that it all holds together very well. A lot of strong, very strong, got a lot of strength to it. All right, ready mix truck has showed up. They're gonna pour the concrete onto the other side of the wall here, and then they're gonna do bucket brigade throughout the living room and first floor area. So we'll watch them. Once they get the first part pouring out and get the bucket brigade going, I'll try and set this up for a time lapse and let you guys watch as it goes through. All right, there's the first batch. Straight out the truck into the buckets. And let the bucket brigade begin. Watch them load up. Guys are over here pouring concrete. Over on the other side, we've also got ballast or sand being delivered. Okay. So getting the truck repositioned. They're gonna bring this in, come down the road, back it up, and it's gonna go over here. Alright, the guys are starting to wrap up. They've just finished up this area and they're working their way back out the door on this side. Looks like looked like the amount of concrete that was ordered is just enough. This is the end of the truck. And they're doing bucket just to finish out the end of the front walkway. Working their way out to the front of the door. We are working up the last little section. Putting in the last little bit, we're going to work it into that corner. I believe we have just enough. All right. Again, still good estimation. That is the end of the floor, and that is the end of the big floor pour. All right, let's go walk around this afternoon after post lunch. Guys are starting to get the markings made on the posts so they can start extending the hollow block upwards. Add some more courses there. As you can see, we had the delivery of sand during the middle of the concrete pour. Our guys back here are continuing to work the rebar for this large beam going over the garage door opening. So inside the walk-in closet for bedroom number 2, Mr. Joel is continuing to do plaster coat on this wall. And inside of the Jack and Jill bath, you can see Mr. Jericho continuing to do plaster coat as well. Our welders are up on top, putting the strapping in place that they've been working on for the each side of the ridges, helping to strengthen up some of the purlins. Easier for the easier for the tinsmiths to work when they get out here for the long span metal roofing. Okay, so the floor is done, already dried enough to where we can walk on it and not leave marks. Looks good. So the big floor pour was a big success. I like it. We have concrete on almost all of the floor. Alright, take a walk around. It's about 4 o'clock, a little bit before quitting time. We're still working on extending the hollow block wall for the fence. Get the fence post put up. Alright, up on top, the welders are putting in place the beginnings of the dormer windows roof line. So that hip roof that's going to go up there. Original plan was a gable. We've done a field change on that, and we're going to make it a hip roof to keep it more in line with what everything else is on the floor plan on the house. We got hip roofs all around. The gable roof would have looked funny, in my opinion. Okay, so these guys over here still have a little bit of mortar. They are still working the tie-ins for the beam going across the garage door opening. Let's go see where some of that. Okay, as you can see, the floor has been poured. We are walking on the floor. That little section over there is going to get hand poured at another time and place. Still got a little bit more mortar here, so we're still doing plaster coating. Back into the guest area. Bedroom number 3. Into the Jack and Jill. And more plaster coating. Yep, good afternoon. More plaster coating. And I believe the same is happening here in the walk-in closet. Still working on the wall. Walk-in closet, bedroom number 2. The forms have been removed from the steps, just the steps on the top. Just the kick plates, where you put your foot underneath, So that part's been removed. But see if I can show you underneath. It is kind of dark under here. These forms are staying in place for a little while longer. Okay, let's go ahead and go run upstairs. Like I said, I think the only thing going on upstairs in the media room is one, removal of these forms, and number two, makilabas. Thank you. Okay, and the fabrication for the roof line for the dormer window. Engineer and I are still working out something to do with this window here, trying to lower the bottom edge of the window. I think we have a solution. Just got to confirm it with the engineer and clue in the welders. Okay, looks like we're putting on a good door frame for our attic door access out into the attic. A little small 6-foot door, because the first step you make going in is down. So us tall guys, 6 foot plus like me, 6 foot, have to make sure to mind our head. All right, it's yabba dabba do time. You guys are packing up and putting tools away, and I'm walking on fresh flooring and concrete. Today was the big floor pour. Obviously got all the big floor poured. So rest of today was a little bit of hollow block on the perimeter fence. We got the beams and columns done for the front porch. The next thing they're going to do up here is that once this dries, they'll pull this off tomorrow and put on 2 courses of hollow block and then another beam around the top. After that's in place, then the welders come on and start working on the roof line for it. So that's what we're looking at for tomorrow and Saturday. So we should see you guys back here again tomorrow. If you like what you saw today, please give us a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of these videos, hit the Casa TexPina star right over here on the side and you'll be subscribed. Hit the bell icon just below the view screen. You'll be notified of our next video upload for your viewing pleasure. So until we see you again tomorrow for Friday and build day number 111, have a great afternoon and God bless. Thank you for watching. If you liked today's video, please hit like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon to be notified when our next video becomes available.